My boyfriend was secretly dating my best friend and calling me the most useless woman behind my back. Part I, the perfect lie. Hook 0, 0, 0, 0, 40. I didn't find out through a message. I didn't hear it from a stranger. I didn't even catch them together. I found out because my own best friend forgot to log out of her tablet. And in that moment, I read my own life like a crime report. She's the most useless woman I've ever dated. I stay because she's easy. You're the one I really want. Those were his words. And they weren't sent to some random girl. They were sent to my best friend of 9 years. This is how my life collapsed quietly, slowly, while I was still smiling in photos. One who I was before the truth. My name is Nadia. I was 27 years old when this happened. I worked as a junior accountant in a small firm. Quiet life. Routine mornings. Coffee, bus rides, spreadsheets, Netflix, sleep. I wasn't flashy. I wasn't dramatic. I was stable. And I believed in loyalty. I had two people I trusted more than anyone. Rafik, my boyfriend of 3 years. Maya, my best friend since college. We were the trio. People used to joke. If you two get married, Maya will be your maid of honor. I believed that. 2, my boyfriend, RFIQ. Rafik was charming in a quiet way. Not loud. Not romantic in movies. But dependable. He worked in marketing. He liked photography. He said he loved my simplicity. He told me, "You're safe, you're home." I thought that meant loyalty. We talked about marriage. Kids. A small apartment. He never cheated before, at least not that I knew. Or so I thought. 3, my best friend, Maya. Maya was everything I was. Confident. Stylish. Always laughing. Everyone noticed her. We met in college. She helped me through breakups. Through exams. Through my father's surgery. She held my hand when I cried. She called me my sister. She knew everything about Rafik. Every fight. Every insecurity. Every weakness. And that's how this story begins. For the first small changes. Looking back, the signs were there. But when you trust people, you explain everything away. Rafik changed first. He stopped texting back quickly. He became protective of his phone. He started working late twice a week. He said, "It's just stress, new campaign." I believed him. Then Maya changed. She canceled hangouts. She was always busy. She stopped asking about Rafik. I thought she was just tired. I never imagined the truth. 5, the night everything broke. It was a Friday. Maya came over to my apartment to talk. She looked nervous. She said, "Can I use your charger? My phone is dead." She plugged in her tablet instead. We watched a show. She fell asleep. At 2:13 a.m., her tablet lit up. A message preview. From Rafik. My boyfriend. It said, "I can't wait until she finally moves out of my life." I stared at the screen. My heart froze. I unlocked the tablet. The password was her birthday. And then I saw everything. 6, the messages. Weeks of messages. Photos. Voice notes. Plans. And then the sentence that broke me. "She's the most useless woman I've ever dated. She's boring. You're the only one I want." They laughed about me. My body. My job. My dreams. They used my life as a joke. 7, what I did next. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I took screenshots. I sent them to myself. I closed the tablet. I sat in silence. And I realized the people I trusted most had been destroying me. Behind my back. The longest morning of my life. I didn't sleep. Not for 1 second. I stared at the wall until sunrise, replaying their messages in my head like a courtroom tape. At 6:40 a.m., Rafik texted, "Good morning, love read." I felt sick. At 8:12 a.m., Maya stretched on my couch and smiled like nothing happened. They were both acting normal. That hurt more than the betrayal itself, because it meant the lies were easy for them. 2, I decided to watch them first. I needed proof beyond screenshots. I needed to see their faces when they didn't know I was watching. That week, I stayed quiet. I replied normally. I smiled. And I followed patterns. What I noticed. Rafik worked late, every Tuesday and Thursday. Maya disappeared those same evenings. They both turned off location, sharing at the same time. So one Thursday, I followed him. 3, the hotel. Rafik didn't go to work. He went to a small hotel near Danmondi. I stood across the street, shaking. 20 minutes later, Maya walked in. They didn't see me. They didn't know. But I saw them. And now there was no denying it. 4, the confrontation. That night, I called them both to my apartment. I didn't tell them why. They sat on my couch like family. I placed my phone on the table. I pressed play. Their voice messages filled the room. Silence. Rafik went pale. Maya started crying. Rafik said, "It's not what you think." Maya said, "We didn't mean to hurt you." I laughed. Because that was the only thing left. 5, what they admitted. They started talking 6 months earlier. It became physical 3 months later. They planned to tell me, eventually. They said, "We were waiting for the right time." But there is no right time to betray someone. 6, I walked away. I didn't beg. I didn't fight. I stood up and said, "You both lost me forever." And I walked into my bedroom and locked the door. They left. And so did the old me. The days after. When they left my apartment, the silence felt louder than any argument. My phone didn't stop buzzing. Rafik called 19 times. Maya sent long messages. I didn't open any of them. I took 3 days off work and stayed in bed, staring at the ceiling, asking myself how I missed everything. The worst part wasn't losing them. It was realizing I had been living inside a lie. 2, the story SBRADS. By the end of the week, people knew. Not because I told them. Because Maya tried to control the narrative. She told friends. Nadia pushed him away. I was just there for him. Rafik told coworkers. We grew apart, it just happened. They made it sound like an accident. So I told the truth. I showed the messages. And suddenly, their version collapsed. 3, losing friends, finding myself. Some people chose sides. A few stayed with them. That hurt, but it also showed me who never valued me. I stopped apologizing for their shame. I joined a gym. I started therapy. I took night classes for a promotion exam. Not to prove them wrong. To rebuild myself. 4, when they came back. 3 months later, Rafik showed up at my office. He said, "I made the biggest mistake of my life." A week later, Maya emailed, "I miss you, we were sisters." I didn't reply. Some doors should stay closed. 5, letting Geo. One night, I deleted every photo. Every message. Every memory. And I finally felt light. Because closure isn't something someone gives you. It's something you take. The day I realized I was free. 6 months after everything ended, I woke up and realized something strange. I hadn't thought about them in days. No anger. No pain. No replaying messages. Just quiet. That's when I understood. They no longer had power over me. 2. Becoming someone new. I got the promotion. I moved into a brighter apartment. I cut my hair short. Not because of them. Because I finally chose myself. I traveled alone for the first time. I learned to enjoy my own company. And for the first time in years, I felt strong. 3. The final message. 1 year later, Rafik sent one last message. You were never useless. I was. I didn't reply. Some apologies come too late. 4. What I learned. Betrayal doesn't break you. It reveals you. It shows you what you will no longer accept and who you will never be again. 5. To anyone reading this. If you've been betrayed, remember, you didn't lose them. They lost you, and your life is still waiting.